Did you guys have a good weekend? It was my birthday on Friday.
Ooh, happy birthday.
Thank you. It's my husband's birthday on, I think, Wednesday. Anyone have a September birthday? Anyone else?
My birthday was on the first.
Oh, happy birthday. Well, I know like a dozen people with September, over a dozen people with September birthdays. My theory is it's the New Year's Eve babies slash cabin fever being from Minnesota. But happy birthday, Melissa, to your sister. My family and I, we wanted to go out to finally get out of the house because we've been sheltering in place for the past 6 months now, and we're just going stir crazy. So we wanted to go out, but we have health issues, so we didn't want to risk a regular restaurant. So we rented a dinner movie theater, and we brought our own movies. We watched one episode of Planet Earth as our little pre-show cartoon, and then we watched Hot Fuzz. So those were the two movies that satisfied all the people present, including my father-in-law, who doesn't really get into movies too much. So it was a lot of fun. Ah, crazy times to have a birthday or try and celebrate anything. Thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. Let's get started. Welcome to week 4. Yay. 4 of 16. So after this week is done, we're making some good progress here. And it's flying by. I just wanted to make a couple of announcements, as I usually do at the beginning of class. Thank you for all the birthday wishes that keep coming through. Appreciate it. This is the first time, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this is the first semester I have not had a test to grade on my birthday. That's very exciting. I don't know how that happened, but for 15 years, I've had tests to grade on my birthday, so that's pretty exciting. Just a couple announcements. So, we have those discussion boards every week, and I've been getting a couple of questions about that initial post. So the discussion board isn't technically due until Sundays. Like all the other homework, everything is due Sunday nights. Because I'm asking you to reply to 2 people, I'm hoping that you will make your initial post Wednesday, kind of midweek, and then people have a chance to reply to the other 2. Because if everyone's doing their initial post on Sunday, then it makes it really hard for people to do that initial post and those 2 replies. Right, so that's the only reason for that Wednesday deadline. It's really a soft deadline of a please do it, not a recorded deadline. Okay, cool. And I apologize for that confusion. Also, I realized there was a little bit of confusion on the calculator project. There was a couple of typos on 3 problems. If your score changed, there was about a dozen or so people who did the calculator project last week on like Friday, Thursday, sometime around Thursday, Friday. So I did go in and manually adjust your scores because I didn't want to have you redo those problems. It didn't make any sense. So I do apologize to those of you who found those, who took it when there were still those mistakes. Also, thank you to the couple people who pointed out the mistakes to me. I always appreciate that. If you do think something is a mistake, please do let me know, because either it is a typo or a mistake and I need to fix it, or it's not, and it's important for you to understand why it's not. Okay. Also, this whole class really was just kind of put together quickly over the summer. I mean, not quickly, I spent a ton of time on it. But it's a lot to do. So there are some things that aren't as good as they could have been. And I think that calculator project is one of them. It was originally a paper project, and I put it on a Canvas quiz to try and make it easier for everybody. And in doing that, I realize now, looking at it with a fresh set of eyes, that there is a way I could have set it up to make it more clear. So I apologize. There was, the one problem with the 7 other problems that were related to that one set of numbers. I've added some bits that hopefully clarified that. But for next semester, I think I thought of a better way to do it. So in some ways, you folks are guinea pigs in that sense. So I appreciate your patience with me. It was definitely a lot to put together take a whole entire course and put it online effectively. So thank you for your patience. And seriously, do let me know if you think you find a mistake or if you think something is confusing, because that's how I am able to look at it with a fresh set of eyes and go, right? So it helps me grow as an instructor as well. All right, so with that, I have a couple of announcements from DVC to share, and I will send this out as a proper announcement as well. You may have gotten it in your email. The Campus Help Center is open now. So that's the information desk in the Student Union building. The food pantry is open in person with these hours. They're also serving actual prepared meals that you can take home with you. The main cafeteria on the first floor is now open. Pete's Coffee is open. But most importantly, this is the big thing I wanted to make sure you're aware of. 4 different computer labs are open Monday through Thursday from 9 to 3. So if you're having internet issues, Wi-Fi issues, computer issues, what have you, you can pop into the DVC computer lab. Do remember face coverings, masks are required if you're going to be on campus. And also, student parking is free. You don't need a permit or anything. You do need a permit still to park in faculty staff lots and handicap spots. So I'll put these informations on my next announcement. But like I said, you should have that. Hopefully you got that in your Insight email. Also, I wanted to share with you for voting. How many of you are going to be able to vote in the next election in November? Oh, that's awesome. That's a lot of you. Right on. One thing I'm going to also send out is the League of Women Voters put together this fantastic sheet about voting. If you're a first-time voter, you can register to vote. This PDF is full of all these clickable links. Everything that's blue is a link. If you changed your address or party, you have to re-register to vote. You can pre-register to vote. Now, here's the important thing. California Senate passed a bill signed by the governor, AB 860. That's now the law that every voter is going to get an absentee ballot voting by mail. And that's fantastic. So you don't have to risk COVID. And you can watch some of these videos if you have questions. But the most important things I wanted to make sure you know is you do not need a stamp to mail it. And you can also track your ballot by signing up here. And I just did that a little bit ago. I signed up for an email tracking me, but you can also sign up for text messages. That said, I would not honestly suggest that you put your ballot in a U.S. Postal Service's mailbox, simply because there is some shenanigans happening with that. You may or may not have heard about that on the news. There's a lot of slowdowns that are occurring intentionally from all reports that we hear. So what I would suggest is you find out from your county where they will have boxes set up that you can drop it off directly into the registrar voters boxes. For instance, here in Alameda County, where I live, all over the city, there's these things that look like a mailbox with a handle where you put stuff in, except it's specific for your ballot. I would highly urge you to use those instead. You can also bring your ballot to a polling place or a voting place and drop it off at that polling place. Don't forget to sign the envelope. A lot of ballots get rejected simply because they don't have a signature on them. One vote and one signature. That's how the rule goes. So you've got to make sure you're signing your name wherever it is that you're voting. If you're voting in person, you sign the roll books. If you're voting by mail, you sign the envelope. Okay. I do want to make sure everyone's clear that if you mailed in your mail-in ballot, you cannot then go to your polling place to vote. That is illegal. That is voting twice. That is a federal crime. You can, however, if you make a mistake on your ballot and you vote for the wrong thing, they don't accept whiteout. What you can do is you can bring your ballot to a polling place and exchange the hard copy ballot you got in the mail with another hard copy ballot that they'll give you. And that's how you can correct your mistake. They'll tear up the original ballot and give you that new ballot. What I do is I take a picture of my incorrect ballot to help me remember how I voted. If you have questions about the propositions that are on the ballot, there's some huge, important, drastically changing our education, honestly, on the ballot. And I'll send out some information about that as well. Nonpartisan information. I would never send you guys any slanted stuff. So please do vote if you are eligible. Every election is important, but this one has a lot of really important things that we're voting for. So with that, last night I came up with this little summary of everything we've done this semester and an intuitive summary of each lesson we've done. This is, again, just your intuitive overview for what we've done in each lesson. In lesson 1, we had a general intro to stats. Lesson 2 was vocabulary. Lesson 3 was how to procure data for research, taking samples. Lesson 4 was the main 2 types of research. In lesson 5, we're thinking about different ways to present the research for general consumption, that is, for the masses. And that's what we're going to do today. And then next class, in lesson 6, we're going to look at the most common ways to present small data sets. Also, you can think of it as how to see the big picture given a slew of data, the simplified versions that only really, what we're looking at is simplified versions that are only really for rare situations of small data sets, not used by really big researchers that often, just for small data sets. And I apologize, the writing is a little bit sloppy because it was like midnight. I was heading to bed writing this up real quick. So, and then lesson 7, it's more realistic ways to look at big sets of data. And lesson 8, how we determine if 2 pieces of information are related or not. And lesson 9 is going to be about seeing beyond the data. So using what we know and what about the past and the current, and using that to make predictions. Also, you can think of it as using the past to make an educated guess about the future. I'll post this on Canvas, but it kind of gives you that intuitive overview for everything we're doing for this upcoming test. 3 weeks away. All right, and remember, you'll have the entire day. Also, I want to let you know the videos are up to date. And about those videos, I am working on getting more accurate closed captionings on all of those videos, but it's a slow process. It's a statewide organization, and they're doing all 114 community colleges, so they're a little bit busy, but slowly they're coming. Okay, so like I said, today what we're looking at is different ways to present research for general consumptions for the masses. And I had asked you to watch some videos and then prepare some answers to some questions based on your student ID number. And that was because we are going to split up in groups, and I'm going to have each group present that information they specifically learned about to the rest of the class. Do a quick review reminder. So this is the pre-class assignment based on how your student ID ends, looking like this. Here's the rubric, and I'll be assessing each person individually. There is a group score in the sense that your presentation needs to be cohesive, and it makes sure that all the prompts are answered and be informative, and if you're not working together as a group, those are not going to go well for any of you. Okay, so please work together. You feel like you've been in enough random groups. Hopefully, the groups you're going to be assigned to, you'll know at least one person. All right, I'm going to open rooms. There's a couple people I've got to figure out where they're supposed to be, but I'm going to let you guys work.